Did you know that a black man was once held in the monkey section of a zoo in the Bronx? Oda Benga was known for being featured in an anthropology exhibit at the Louisiana Purchase Exposition in St. Louis, Missouri in 1904, and in a human zoo exhibit in 1906 at the Bronx Zoo. Benga had been purchased from African slave traders by the missionary and anthropologist Samuel Phillips. African American newspapers around the nation published editorials strongly opposing Benga's treatment. In late 1906, the mayor released Benga to the custody of James M. Gordon. He arranged for Benga to be cared for in Lynchburg, Virginia, where he paid for him to have clothes and fixed his teeth. This enabled the young man to be more accepted in local society. He was tutored in English and began to work at Lynchburg Tobacco Factory. Unfortunately, depression got the best of Benga after the outbreak of World War I in 1914, and in 1916, he died by suicide. Did you know that? Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
Steve, how you doing?
Doing good. Letting this coffee boil. It just take a little while. It's about to go. I was gonna make some coffee really quick before we get started.
Okay, how's your day going?
It's doing great. How about yourself?
Okay, can't complain. Thank you for agreeing to be a guest and being so patient. I know we were supposed to set this up a while ago.
It's all good.
But thank you so much for being a guest on MyQuality is for real. I have real talks with quality people who have real purpose, and I think that you are somebody who is definitely walking in your purpose with the Ward Report. So I'll let you kind of introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. One moment. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
But yeah, I want to thank you for having me on as well. I genuinely appreciate the type of content that you're putting out. It's great. We need more sisters putting out great content. So I want to thank you for this opportunity to come on to MyQuality is for real. So thank you.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the War Report.
Thank you for this opportunity. So a little bit about myself. My name is Xolanio Yaaba. I come from the realm of youth development and education, also grassroots organizing is my background. I recently transitioned everything I've been doing into like media format due to everything going virtual. So that was the decision that I made after speaking with a few people that wanted to see my content. I've had years of experience dealing with being shadow banned and reported and different things like that across different platforms, from YouTube to Facebook to Twitter to any platform you could think of. I've had issues dealing with being shadow banned. So that sparked what I was doing with my podcast. And this is actually like my third podcast that I've done. First one just didn't work out. There's audio equipment, the quality was terrible. Then I did another one, but I don't want to sign a 360 deal for like my content and give up like the rights to my intellectual property. So I just decided to part ways, but that has led me to where I am with the World Report News University and creating entertainment content through like hip hop, nation building, institution building, financial literacy. Along those lines, but I like to incorporate hip hop because I deal with a lot of youth. So a lot of youth look to me like as an elder, as a teacher, and different things like that. So I want to be able to provide a platform where youth can have their voices heard, but also provide a platform for those who are being censored by what's going on social media and on the internet in general. So
Okay. So you mentioned shadow banning. What exactly? So I know you a few times you kind of like keep having to create a new Instagram. Is it because of the content that you're putting out? You like to real form or something, or what? Like what is that? Why do they keep doing that?
I would say it's along the lines of that, but it's a lot of people that don't know how to put out original content. So a lot of people are online, especially in the conscious community. What they do is they plagiarize other people's intellectual works, the intellectual property of others. And this is something I had to learn. Just I'm in the process to teach myself like copyright, different things like that. So from the shadow ban, it comes from a wide variety of different areas. It might be stuff that you're putting out, but also other people will report your page as well. And I'm just big on accountability of actions of others. Like I don't like when people take other people's stuff. That's plagiarism. If we talk in academic or even in school, you get in trouble for plagiarism. But that's the new thing. Like people don't put in work. They don't know how to do actual research without the internet, without Google. They don't know how to go into libraries and do actual research. Like I have a bachelor's in African American studies, and then I have a master's in education. But research has always been a vital part of the work that I've been doing. I just transitioned into the media form, but I had to switch up what I'm doing. Doing financial literacy, because a lot of people in the conscious community aren't really even talking about financial literacy. We can't have a revolution if we don't have any economic, economic blueprint. Like Amos Wilson laid down in Blueprint for Black Power. We got to have institutions, but how are we gonna run the institutions without any money? Because if we don't have any money and we are unaware, we aren't teaching next generations on how to manage money and what they should put their money into, or who you should be giving your money to. That's a big issue for me. Is I hold a lot of people accountable. Like, what is this person putting out in the community? Are they building anything? Why you keep giving them their money? They say they starting school, for example, but where's the structure for the school? Where's the building? Different things like that. And it's unfortunate that it's a lot of people that aren't really building anything, but they're getting a lot of proceeds. And majority of my money I put up myself. Like I'm not asking anybody for donations or put my cash app in my different things like that. I'm putting in the work, and I've been doing this for years, like since I'm like officially since I was like 19, really. Okay. So I just been just finding my way. I've been through the independent African Center education, homeschooling movement, to political movements to help us start organizations. So for me, organization is important, but I would just rather limit my interaction with certain people, because if you aren't building, like people's like, oh, we need to work amongst all African centered people. I've been nation building with people that aren't African centered, that had the means, but they want to know where their money is going to. If you aren't building anything, you know, different than the church you proclaim to be against. Like consciousness is like the new religion. Like the lecturers are the new pastors. Because they collect the money, but you're not saying nothing come from it,
Not producing anything. They just keep asking money.
Yeah, just holding people accountable. They just don't like it. They still bitter. That they not able to report my audio with the podcast. I feel like I have to say it's a lot of people say they have podcasts, but most of them are like IG shows and different things like that. So we gotta decipher. Podcasting is audio,
Right.
Without the audio, you have no podcast. And I can see if you upload the video to YouTube, download and upload it to a podcast and streaming platform, then maybe you could say you got a podcast. But if you don't have podcast, have the audio, you don't have a podcast because it's just audio format, you know. So
Okay, okay. So we have a lot to discuss. You got a lot going on. So I want to start off because you said you got the hip hop, the edutainment, nation building, institution building, and the financial literacy. So I want to kind of touch into each one of those as far as the hip hop. So you are also an artist as well.
I guess you could say that in my own right. I'm not an artist. I'm more, I guess, more of a digital creator. I'm more a content creator, but I like to curate culture. So hip hop is like a big thing for me. So as far as hip hop goes, I have a new platform that I'm dropping, doing a video today for a launch called Politics of Content.
Okay.
So basically, politics of content is to raise awareness of like the underground hip hop scene, people that's putting out great content that's along the lines of like entertainment, that's critical of like systematic racism, but like countering the mental side, the mental genocide of the next generation of Black youth. I just think that I work on that I've been working on. I'm planning on doing a diagram for it though, but the gangster rap, the prison pipeline, how the drill, the trap plays a large factor into what youth are doing and committing crimes, or the influence of hip hop on youth, like the negative influence that it has. Like, how do we counter that with positive, conscious lyricism? I feel like that's important to highlight artists that's on the underground, and then some artists on the mainstream that's doing great work and putting out great content. But those artists rarely get a little to no shine. They don't get like on the Billboard charts and different things like that. And that's cool though. To each his own. Like if you're gonna sign a deal, I feel like curating content and culture is important, but I feel like people like to listen. Like music, and music is universal, and hip hop is global across the diaspora. So I feel like that plays a large factor into like the mindset or like how we are viewed. Like from we had groups like Public Enemy to uh uh I don't know too many. I listen to like a lot of my friends are conscious artists, so I revert to them. My good friend of mine out of the Nation of Islam, Golden Child, is one of my favorite artists to listen to. Limitless Sounds, Euphony Boss, Young Black and Gifted. The list goes on. And for any of my brothers or sisters, if I forgot about y'all, please forgive me. It's kind of a long list to go off of, but like Upstate New York, Che Noir, 38 Special. It's a wide variety of artists that's like in hip hop, but they don't get like the shine that like a Jay-Z or different artists and producers. And that's something I want to get off into too, highlighting producers uh, and what it takes to make quality music, over music that's like really like nursery rhyme type of rhymes with just a good beat. So that plays a large factor in my life with like just keeping my sanity. One of the things I like to listen to is music, but I listen to like hip hop. I'll go back to the roots. The roots with of it with jazz and blues and old school and soul music and different things like that. So that's the basis of like for me for hip hop is just pushing it forward. And I'm thinking about actually recording some stuff on my own. I'm not an artist, but I do like a lot of voiceover. But like just put my voice on the beat and like doing just talking about a message or something that's relevant to like what's going on.
Okay, and kind of piggyback off of what you said, I actually was, had a conversation about that earlier, how when you said the youth and they are so they pick up things, you know what I'm saying? And so with this music now, they're picking up the wrong things. And it's crazy how, kids can learn songs, but then you ask them what's 10 times 10, but if you do it in a song form, they'll learn it faster. You get what I'm saying? So it's dope that you are wanting to make it to where the youth, because the babies are definitely the greatest, and we definitely need to focus more on the youth.
Yeah. When I used to teach, I used to incorporate it in like my lesson plan. Incorporate music, not just hip hop. Bob Marley, you know, John Coltrane, Duke Ellington, like the basics of like music and like the sound bite, like how can be relaxing and soothing, like just work and listen to some music. So I'll put some jazz on, some like Billie Holiday, some Nina Simone, you know,
I would have
just
loved
give them
this
like
class. That would have been a dope class.
just give them a different vibe to, you know what I'm saying, a different vibration to what than what they used to. Even a lot of my students, like, they now familiar with Nas due to like Hit Boy producing his album, like a lot of youth I work with. But before that, they didn't even know who Nas was. They had never heard of him. So it was like artists like Nas, like even my students, it was funny, they didn't know Common was a rapper. They just know him as an actor.
Oh, that's
They just know Common as an actor and not the rapper. So I play like went back to like 87, you know, 88, 90s, like Common Sense, like that type of hip hop, Mob Deep, you know, is introducing them to like different sounds of like music from the conscious to the ones that are conscious, but they implement that street element. Like I like that type of, you know, that
a good
music, and
balance
then
of it.
it's easy for me to have conversations with like, you know, different people like Griselda Records. I like their music a lot from upstate New York. Trust. It's a wide variety of like different labels, and I feel like uh, that bridges the gap with me having conversations with people, because a lot of people listen to hip hop, but it just depends on what type of artist you like listen to, what subgenre of like that culture that you like. So I always tie it back to the youth and the next generation, and that leads into like open up the doors for them to feel comfortable enough for me. Like, now let's talk about institution building. What do you want to do? What do you see yourself doing? What do you see yourself being passionate about? And you could build a business surrounding whatever it is you're passionate about. It just depends on what you like. You can even curate content and build a podcast around whatever it is that you're passionate about, you know? And that's kind of like how I started what I did with the War Report News University. And started off as a War Report, and entertainment lawyer that's a friend of mine that was telling me do the copyright for the War Report with Capone and Noriega. I might want to change the name of the War Report. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I was like, I added the news element. So that was good. It was getting a lot of pickup. Then a lot of people like, oh, I learned so much by listening to your podcast. Man, you should start a university, because I feel like I'm sitting in class, just audio experience with it. So then I transitioned into university, and then I just recently changed it because the Warport News University is too long. So I just made the acronym TWRN University Audio Experience. And I just call my episodes audio courses, because you're gonna learn something from it. It's just on how you apply it. Like,
Right.
it's free content, it's free game for you to, you know what I'm saying, go do what you do best. Like I've learned that I'm not going to be able to save everybody, but I would like to collaborate with like-minded individuals. And I just like the type of content that's curated through podcasting. Because now I figured out like kind of a way to do like audio, like even get more content using social media. So even using Instagram as a means to download a video, uploading it to YouTube, then download the audio, edit the audio, throw it up as a podcast episode. So like they're doing different things like that, and just trying to find different ways to curate culture and leave like get digital real estate, and you know, digital and mental real estate.
You kind of
Like
get
planning.
the digital real estate.
Oh, so like for instance, like social media is a form of like digital real estate, like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, whatever platform you're using. Those are all forms of like digital real estate. It's just where's your base at though for the crowd you're reaching? Where's your biggest base and how you reaching people? Like for me, I'm always in shadow band, so Instagram is mainly like most of my groundwork, but I'm pushing people more towards my podcast. which is I'm streaming in 11 countries due to word of mouth, but also me being able to network. And I'm just pushing, that is my main base, but I'm also pushing my Instagram and other back channels that I have. So now it's just, and I appreciate this opportunity to be able to come to your podcast to speak. So doing more of this, going to other people's platforms and sharing my insight and my knowledge on like how to start. Uh, I'm even working on a course on, like, a lot of people been asking me about publishing because I have a book, but just pushing, using my podcast as the pushing as the propeller for motion for selling books, and different things like that. Even getting to a point where I can start live streaming on different platforms. Like I'm getting in tune with Twitch lately. Um, Twitch, Caffeine TV, URL, the battle rap scene uses Caffeine TV. So I'm gonna start using Caffeine TV and other streaming platforms to finally start putting out video content. Because one thing I learned, like, I like to provide opportunity for people, but people will take advantage of you. A lot of people come on my platform, they just think I'm just a talking. I'm a mouthpiece, and I'm not really doing anything. But then when they see the questions that I'm serious about asking, it's like I'm kind of like betting you to see if you're really about the life that you're speaking on social media. And there's been times where people will ask me to move certain stuff because they don't feel comfortable. Now I do it, but like my view on you is kind of changed. Like I'm not gonna front. Like I never put anybody out there or like disrespect anybody, different things like that. But a lot of people try to use me to get their base up because they know I'm known like globally. So it's like I'm at a point where people have canceled interviews with me and the day of, but then tell me they weren't going to show up. I would just rather tell me you don't want to be interviewed, or don't reach out to me asking me to interview you, and then you renege on your decision. I done posted a flyer for it. I done did all this and that, and then for you to cancel on the last minute is not cool. At least give me the courtesy to be like, oh, I'm interested in doing an interview, or you heard something about me you might not agree with me on, and I'm willing to have a conversation, sit down and be adult about it. I might not like somebody, but I'm willing to have a conversation with them as an adult. Like as a grown adult individual, we should be able to have a conversation as far as and a lot of stuff get misconstrued because a lot of people take something down and just they take a sound bite from it, uh, a conversation, like flip it to their advantage to make you look bad just so they can feel good about them, make other people think that they're doing something that they're really not doing. So it's like you trying to tell somebody else down there doing something, actually something positive, just for your benefit to get likes and laughs and different things. It's like social media is like a drug. Like they with their song they do anything for clout, for the likes. It's like a drug. Like the endorphins that you get from like being popular on social media. Like I don't care nothing about that. Like that's not gonna make me no money. That's not gonna liberate us. And you talking bad about other black people on and I'm guilty of it too, so I can speak to it. But for me, I was defending myself. It was nothing like slandering my character assassination. That's fine. And then I had to learn to ignore, just start ignoring it, because like all I'm doing is giving them more clout, which is really hurting me and benefiting them. So these are things that I've learned. Just create content. Like, I just create content. I let my work speak for itself. Like just doing the work is important. Most important to me. If you're doing work and I like what you're doing, we might have a potential opportunity for us to sit down and even have a conversation. But before we go further than a conversation, I want to see that you put in actual work.
Right. Right. So again, I thank you because like I said, I've had to cancel and reschedule and do all of that. But you were real. You kept, we kept in contact and you reached out. You good. We still on. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate it. I know. With this, it is hard work, and then doing it by yourself, and so it gets overwhelming sometimes, especially for me. But I've definitely had people cancel the day of, or not even cancel, just don't show up, or just so I totally understand that. I do want to. Hmm?
Go ahead.
Oh
No,
no,
go ahead.
I was about to get into the financial literacy, kind of talk a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit
yeah.
about that and how you are helping people with that. I'm definitely one of those people who needs some help with the financial literacy.
Yeah, some stuff I've learned along the way. I've been studying lately. My recent new thing, my newfound interest is cryptocurrency. I'm not an expert, so I'm just going off things I learned to study. Like people's like, yo, you should jump in. Who was like, all right, man, I don't know, man. This seems like a damn scam to me. But as I looked at it further and further, and I learned, I was like, oh, this you just basically like moving your money, basically.
Hmm.
Like you just following the stock market, the stocks, the crypto stocks, then you just move it. Like if you feel comfortable, I just move it whenever I feel like I'm losing more than I'm gaining, and just flip it to something. So just following whatever the trends are today. Dogecoin is the latest that I've been looking at. Um, and I'm looking at like I said, looking at nation building. So I'm looking at this as a way to get some land, like invest enough where I can start getting daily and eventually like be making money while I'm sleeping. But like I don't really want to work for nobody, so I've been researching it. I'm not an expert at it, but it's this thing called NFT. I'm learning about it as I go, but it's called non-fungible tokens. So what I've been getting over the past few months of studying and researching it, you take a image something like you could take like a painting that's like of high value. It might be start off at like 50,000, but like over the next 10 years, that might go to maybe 500 million.
Hmm.
Turn into like this thing, upload the picture, you put the description, you put the price on it. People buy it like basically you could do video or photo or whatever it is. And then whatever they resell, whatever it is that they purchase from you in the NFT, you can make commission off of it. And this is something that I'm new to it. I'm not an expert, but I have a guy that's coming on my podcast, and the interview should be out by the time it's come out. But his name is Eric Wellington. But he does crypto, he does agent back, he does real estate, entrepreneurship, digital entrepreneurship. But he's into like crypto and forex. Um, and a lot of the forex people really try to put the pressure on you to support their movement and purchase in to buy in. But I want other people to learn about it the same way that I've been learning about it and receiving information about it. I want to be able to teach and provide other people that knowledge and insight. But also, I use nation building financial institution as a means of financial literacy. How you start a business, like what are you passionate about? What are your interests? What do you like doing? So for me, I could use myself as the greatest example. I wanted to use my book as a means to promote and push content, but I started my podcast strictly off of what I was passionate about. But the passion was drawn off people plagiarizing my stuff, so I needed to clear my name. So I kind of like used the podcast as a means for clearing a space or making my own lane for content creation. And that's a means of like for me that for me I use my platform as a means to push what I'm doing, but also I'm still making money off. So I'm learning like in the process on how to run a business, but also like institution building is a part. If you're not financially literate, you're not going to be able to run an institution or a business. So a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, but don't understand the administrative and the organizational structure within. So that's what I mean when I'm just taking a different approach um, to it and just learning as I go along. But for me, it was something that I wasn't taught growing up. Like I wasn't taught financial literacy in school. I didn't have consumer education when I was in high school. The credit was given to me just so they could give me as another stat number of a student that graduated. You know, and I feel like that's important. Knowing how to balance a checkbook, knowing how to move your money or how to invest it properly. who you should be investing your money with if you do want to invest. You know, what it is, your vision, whatever your dream is. But I feel like financial literacy and knowing how finances work is important because that's what capitalism is based off of. And a lot of people look at me crazy. I was like, we live in a capitalist society and we're getting taken advantage of. Why don't we just capitalize off capitalism? If that's the case, if we're being put in a position where a knee is on our neck and let's just take some of that pressure off, like and provide opportunity for the next generation. Like for instance, what do you do when you get stopped by the police? Most people don't even know the laws of the land, but like if you know the law or know the structure how the system is, if you play it smart as opposed to going back and forth with them, you're not gonna win, right? People say, "Oh, you should." I've been in several. I fought police before, like and lived.
Nowadays, though, that's kind of hard to answer because you see some instances where technically they did do the right thing, or you don't know what is the right thing now. Like,
you just gotta know, like for me, yeah, I would say this, like, and I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for it, but I don't care. But a lot of people get upset so we don't control the dynamic of what's going on. I told somebody the only thing that the opposition understands is when you talk their language. That's the only thing. And another thing, I was telling somebody they know who the system knows who they can and can't pull certain things with. Like that's just like a shark that smells blood in the water. The shark is going to attack. The blood is pretty much like fear. You know, as soon as the opposition or the enemy sees fear, they're going to capitalize on the fear of the colonized. You know, now, I've been in situations where I've been detained before, and I'm able to. I know the language that they speak, though. If you don't know the language, then how can you navigate? Like even when I go into like different communities or different hoods, I never have a gun with me. But I go in and I've taught myself how to get robbed and killed plenty of times. It's just all about knowing the language and using it to our advantage. Like, and I've been through the phase of black power this, black power that, brother, sister, power to the people. Hey, to me at this point it's such a facade. This whole thing of consciousness, and I know a lot of people that are conscious that are quite wealthy, and they give to different things and provide opportunities for people that are actually putting forth some kind of effort. Like I said, I'm done trying to nation build with people that's talking African centered this, African centered that. What are you doing is actively like helping our people. Nation build with somebody that's not African centered. If y'all on the same page and y'all got mutual respect for each other, that's all that matters. Like I feel like at this point we could talk black this and black that, but all skin folk and our kinfolk, you know, at this point, that's where I'm at. I'm older now. I understand the dynamic of like what it is. We need African centered education, but we can't run African centered schools if we don't have no economy to support the educational structure. It's not gonna work. I'd rather support somebody that's actually putting in some real work and building something, as opposed to just talking online. Then when you try to build with these people offline, they want you to support their business or their movement, but they aren't willing to even have a conversation with you. They don't even want to have a phone conversation. Well, they don't even want to let you see your face virtually, like via video chat. Like, and I want to invest and put my stuff in, but I'm not going to put my hard-earned money that I worked hard for into something, and you still taking advantage of people, you know? Right. And you tear down another black person, and a lot of people get upset. And I'm like, oh, they was like, well, Candace Owens is married to a white guy. Okay, so what? She's still black. At the end of the day, to me, I don't really care about. A lot of black people call other black people coon, but she still works for a white man. So what does that say about you? you less of a coon, you more revolutionary because somebody married outside the race. Hey, to each his own. Hey, I'm not, but that's that person's decision. You're not making that person no money. Like we as Umar say, like I don't even use Umar too much, but he's like, we measuring in the minors. Like we measuring in the wrong nonsense. Like you focus on the wrong thing and the enemy just getting stronger by the minute. Um, and people worried about these adults. I'm worried about this next generation. You know, that's what my focus is. I'm focused on the youth and the children. I feel like they are the most vital component to what you call revolution. Revolution. That's what's next. Revolutionary is taking care of your family, teaching these young men and women how to like not to be like we trying to survive, but like basic things like how to do a resume, how to fill out a job application,
how to dress for the job,
interviewing. Yeah, exactly. Like basic life skills. Like we in the system. The system, for most definitely look like it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So until we don't collectively on one accord, we could try to say we're gonna get out of the system, but everywhere across the diaspora is colonized at this point. So what are you gonna do to provide for your family? I feel like that's important. Your immediate family, people be talking all this and that about religion, but their mother and their grandmother still got a white Jesus hanging on the wall. I'm just saying, like you could talk all this black power, that. I never bang on religion like that because my family's still in church. My cousin has a church. We agree to disagree. I even still go support his community events where he feeding the community. As long as you're doing great work, like doing the civil rights movement, that's where a lot of organizing took place inside the black church. Uh, at the time when they used the black liberation theology, James Cone was the one that is like the forefather for black liberation theology. And everything should be black liberation should be whatever it is, or African liberation, whatever it is, like whatever you believe in. That's like my spiritual belief is African liberation, black liberation, black power is within creating a economy that we can distribute our own wealth, and different things like that. Like even looking at in the crypto space, I've been studying it so I can learn like how this whole system works. Cause I would love to get like my own crypto, eventually like my own coin, where we could distribute it amongst us digitally, but use it to our advantage, where we could get land or even use it like as a bartering system, But we already dealing with the colonial currency, so how do we get in, get out, and like establish and figure out what it takes to create like our own apps and different things like that? It's a black social media app called Continent, and it's but it's continent like continent, but it's like content net. So instead of an N, it's a C. But yeah, it's dealing with like e-commerce and different things like that. But I support the brother Damian Walton. I interviewed him on my podcast, but we need our own different platforms and different things like that. We could talk about social media is a problem, but what are you using social media for that's causing the problem? Are you using it to look at stuff and now you're not doing shit? That's why you're complaining? Or like what I use it for, I use it for networking. Like I'm on there, I'm networking like how we met. We met through social media. Like so it's like I use it for the purpose of social network. I'm not on there looking to make friends. I'm on there looking how I can collaborate with other people that's on the same thing that I'm on. How can we curate culture through content? So like just being able to provide platforms, and then also like we need our own form of media. So I got tired of hearing people talking about, oh, I can't stand Vlad. Vlad this and Vlad that. Nah, bro, you need to do something to change it. So I changed narrative by creating my own platform. Well, I want to provide other opportunities, and then I got a couple other shows coming out, but I'm launching where I want to get into more like a writer, producer, you know, more providing opportunities for to put other people in position to win. So I know that's what I'm doing with the process of content, which would be just focusing on hip hop and just providing culture, but not just strictly on hip hop, but for providing knowledge and information. You know what I'm saying? Going back to the key elements of hip hop, you know, and that's culture, that's street culture, that's youth culture, that's you know, that's black culture. You know, we are hip hop, like it's ingrained in our DNA uh to push the culture forward. But I know people like music. So that's like an easy way to enter into you know, into to educating our people. Cause like people like to listen to music. They don't like hearing people talk unless you got something constructive to say. Or they might not like how you saying it and they might like how somebody else is saying it, you know. So I just want to be able to be that space to provide this generation, this era. Same way that Transatlantic Productions did they thing, like even to now they changing their format, like what they was doing with the lecturing, and like even what Sonetta is doing with his Black News 102 and Doggy Diamonds with his Doggy Diamonds No Filter with Nori and DJ EFN is doing with Drink Champs, Rap Radar, you know, those different kind of platforms. Like I want to be do the knowledge radio, of course, and all the other people that's putting out great content. But I want to thank those who have inspired me to, you know, take this leap of faith to. It's mainly the people because a lot of people's like, we want to hear your stuff, but we tell you getting shadow banned. So, and then I prefer audio, video anyway. That's just my preference. I just like audio better
Okay.
because I don't
Yeah,
have
I'm
to
the
really
opposite.
focus
I like
on
to.
looking at the camera.
I'm the opposite. I like to. I don't know, I guess my attention span. Like if I'm listening and just listening, I could be doing a whole bunch of other stuff. But if I'm actually like watching the video, I think that it catches my attention more for me.
Right, for sure. Yeah, that's why I kind of want to transition what I'm doing, adding video aspect to what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't can't sit down and listen to a full audio, but they can sit down and watch like a 2 hour interview. Like if it's the person they like, so it's like just reaching out, getting on these different platforms, getting back on, and finally that I got some momentum. I could like do like a podcast run or like IG run where I do interviews and different things like that. But it's a lot of people that you know, I don't care what they think about me, but my team, I have a manager now, so I don't have to do ads. It's take a lot of pressure off me. But he's like, I need to do like a media run with everything. So this is like the first of many. So I appreciate you giving me this opportunity to come on and speak my piece.
Absolutely. Thank you again. And anytime you have something new, you can definitely use the platform that you come back and talk about, all the things that you have going on. I appreciate you, just for doing the work. And
Thank you.
anytime if you want, I could definitely be a guest on the work report and just keep
Yeah,
collaborating,
we gotta
keep
get
building.
some more. I need some more sisters, man. I got enough brothers, so yeah, we will definitely could arrange that for sure. I appreciate the support. And I appreciate what you're doing, man. I see a lot of brothers doing the content and the podcast, and I don't see a lot of sisters, so it's good to see that you putting in great quality of work. I seen doing knowledge. I seen knowledge born online now, so let me reach out. And
Absolutely. I think he's the one who told me about you. I think he kind of put us in contact with each
yeah,
other.
yeah,
So yeah, he's
he told
definitely
me
been.
about you too. So yeah, he's like, bro, you need to check out. So it's kind of like he bridged the gap. He's actually like my biggest inspiration for like my podcast. And like I wasn't doing this before this, and he kept getting on me about it. He's like, they keep shutting you down, bro. It's time to start it. Like, just go all in with it. So like, ever since then, in the conversation with a few other people, and like within the 6 months, I'm going into May. 7 months. Within 7 month period, I'm in 11 countries, um, 10 outside the U.S. So it feels good. I'm just preparing for this 1 year and the first anniversary in November, which I'm excited to do. So I'm thinking about doing like a big event in Chicago, having some artists come perform, have a DJ, and probably do like a networking event. So I'm excited to collaborate, but I'm trying to have like all the content creators I know come out. I might even do it like a conference though. So I'm considering it. Like just doing a big event, like a content creation, like kind of thing. Like myself, yourself, and a few others, like content creators, whether it's video, audio, authors, different things like that. Have like a list of like speakers. So that's some things that I got coming up. But like I want the first anniversary to be major. And like just provide opportunity for people to speak their piece and to see what it's about. Like the land, I think personal branding is important. And that's why I like doing podcasts. I'm able to provide a space for people to push their own brand and what it is, and improve the quality of life that they live in. Like just by like even the smallest information, the game I could give you for putting out content. I want to be able to provide that information. Like some of the stuff, like I'm working on some courses, like a podcasting course, publishing, content strategy, personal brand, and different things like that. So I'm thinking about starting like a new IG series where I just do something like early in the morning, like to start the day off. I'm thinking about the name I want to announce it, but it's gonna be dealing with probably like early morning, like coffee and something, coffee and conversation or something like that. Where I just talk game, but also allow people if they want to come in or drop in and ask me a question. I'll let them if they request to get on live. I'll let them get on live, ask their question, and then I answer it. So I'm working on the format now, but I want to do more content around that where I'm giving out like free game and just start curating more content, and eventually, money gonna pick up. It's already picking up, so I feel good. I'm more comfortable than I ever been. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm in a good mental space. Like you were saying, self care is important. Like doing everything yourself can really burn you out. So it's good to be able to bounce ideas off of other content creators. Like, what you think about this? It look good, but flip this to over here. Right. Different things like that. So I like to bounce ideas, and that's a form of curating content too. Like bouncing ideas off of other content creators and seeing what they think. Like having like a element. I feel like if you have a business, if you're not content creating and you have a business or you're an entrepreneur, you're missing out on a lot. Because how you gonna promote? Who's gonna promote your business better than you? You can't depend on other people to promote your business if you're not doing it. Right. If you don't have no marketing team, you got to be the marketing team.
You got to be everything.
Yeah, so you got to be the video, video editor, all that. Like.
Yeah. Well, again, I definitely appreciate you. Let the people know where they can find you, where they can, your social media handles, and we'll definitely keep in touch. And like I told you, I'm kind of just like pre-recording now, so I'll definitely send like a flyer and everything once, maybe like a week or two before this interview drops, so that way you can promote it and all that.
Yeah, for sure. You can find me on IG at XOLANI Speaks SPEAKS. Politics of content is the other page as well. Then I got TWRN University Audio Experience. You can find it on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and other streaming platforms. You could also find me on TWRN University TV on YouTube, and all the links are in my YouTube. Just click the links that's up, and like what on the page in the about section, and then lastly, I got some other content coming out of a book too, Blood on the Academic Ocean Block, and that's on lulu.com. But if you want more information, you can always contact me via DM on Instagram, or you can email me at t the war report news university at gmail.com, or you can email me at Xolanio speaks at gmail.com. Trying to think. I don't have anything else. Oh, I have a blog, twrnuniversity.wordpress.com. So that's coming together. And then I'm doing a new format for interviews. If you want to be interviewed, you have to email me, but also I'm charging a $50 fee for interviews now. That'll alleviate, that's just a starting point. That's just like a down payment. But to do an interview, well, I'm in the process. Well, I'm getting more of a name for myself, so I'm gonna structure it a lot better. But so I'm tired of people like canceling on me at the last minute. So that I think that'll change a lot if they put the down payment down. Like, and then I'm getting some more business oriented model. So and shout out to my manager, Euphony Boss, for all the work that he's been putting in. So. And I want to thank you for the opportunity for coming on MyQuality's for real. So thank you for this opportunity. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you again, and you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk later.
All right, have a good one. Thank you again.